Yeah. Sorry, Makabani. I'm late. I'm trying to set up. I'm late, you guys. I was attending a student. Is it called symposium? Like the South African Nursing Students Association had a session online right now. I joined them at okay, let me just set up and then some more. But I'm here. Please tap the screen so that people can know that Nurse Z kept her promise, Bandla. Oh, Sana, I was having such a wholesome conversation with the nursing students of this country. Literally, you see, I just finished presenting to them right now. Do you see that? Oh, it's too bright. Let me see. There we go. I literally just finished presenting to these students. Yeah, I was having a conversation with the students of this country, the nursing students of this country. Guys, please tap the screen. Let people know that we are here. Hi, Impoza. How are you doing? I didn't know that, I don't know, when I accepted that invitation from the students during the week, I had completely forgotten about Mondays. It's our time, but we are here nonetheless. I wanted us to talk about the use of social media as nurses today. I wanted us to talk about that. And I'm interested to know, what have you read? Yazi nje yazi kule profession, guys, inzima into yenzeka kule profession sana, because what do you mean? Why am I not connected on Wi-Fi? Inzima sana into. Hi Rato. Hi sister Amo. Inzima guys into yenzeka kule profession. The data is going to leave me at some point. Hi sister Pumza, my favorite girl. Guys, see Wi-Fi, ne? I just connected on Wi-Fi. I had such a wholesome conversation with the South African nursing students. Hi, Lynn. I had such a wholesome conversation with the South African nursing students. So they had a series where they are preparing themselves for ComServe, like those were final years. Man, I said to them, I honored their invitation. But I guess I'm not going to invite her late or Gwenga. Are we ever going to get permanent employment, Mara? Sana uphuthise kangena emxholweni. Hi Benjamin, my friend. Uphuthise kangena emxholweni sana. But yeah, I was having a conversation with these students and I'm saying to them, I honored their invitation because myself, when I was a student, I did wish that I could have a nurse who can come and prepare me for ComServe. And I didn't have anyone that prepared me for ComServe. Guys, I was looking for a document to this week on the South African Nursing Council website that speaks to nurses and the use of social media platforms. I couldn't find one. Have you? Did you find one? If you did, I would like you to email it to me now so that we start deliberating on it. But I couldn't find anything that speaks to us as nurses and our use of social media. I didn't find it. I'm gonna wait so that you guys can tell me if you found something or not. And I feel like the council needs to come out and say something. Like they need to give us a communique of some sort. They need to come and tell us what is their standing. And I'm wondering what for the people who are here on TikTok actually and doing videos, I'm wondering what feedback have they gotten. I thought I should have this conversation because of an experience that I myself have had in the past, right? So when I started NesZ, particularly the YouTube channel, I think it was in 2019. Yes, it was in 2019 when I started the YouTube channel. The Facebook page, I think I started in 2016 or 2017. Thank you, Refilo, so much for taping the screen. But yeah, I started NesZ, and when in the facilities, I was working in a clinic, right? And the facility that I was at the time, I used to come in early. I used to come in early in the clinic, and I would shoot videos of myself. So if you can go to my YouTube channel and go down, you will see videos of myself when I was still a baby nurse in the consulting rooms, right? And thank you, Ness Aya. And I used to shoot videos. I would come in early while the patients are singing and they are praying, Yongelando. I would be in my consulting room. I would shoot videos. I would shoot videos in the morning or shoot them in the evening when I'm about to leave. So videos such as, oh, these are the types of contraceptive pills we have as the government in South Africa. So if you go, yeah, those were the kind of video. So if you go to your nearest clinic, you will find these kind of family planning methods. Those are the type of videos. Or these are the kinds of ARV drugs we have in the country. Or what else? What kind of yeah, but those were the type of content videos I was doing. I was basically telling patients what they should expect when they go to their respective government clinic, like what are the services, right? My question is, was I advertising our service? Was it advertising? Oh, okay, let me finish the story. So I used to make those videos, then I would post them on my hi Mhlabwam. So I would post these videos on my Facebook page, like a bit of it. I'll say, oh, I've made a video on contraceptives, and the people of the district, on the sub-district that I was working in, guys, they reported me at the district office, at the sub-district office. One day, my operational manager knew about me creating content, right? She knew about me. There's a fly. I hate flies. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just going to concentrate. But yeah, my operational manager knew about the videos I was creating, right? We got along a lot mna naye because kaloku mna mos ndiyile nesi ngonqeniyo, ndiyile nesi encedayo xa kudinga uncedo, nxa operational manager edinga uncedo. I'm not a teacher's pet, but I know my duties as a nurse. So she also knew that in the morning she gets in and she shoots her videos, and then even after work. So she then receives a call from the sub-district office that says, oh, Sister Mang, there is a nurse in your facility that is busy shooting videos and posting them online. I don't know what they said to her, but she panicked. And she came to where I was. I remember at the time I was at the wall, like Bekuki wall in the nearby vicinity of our facility. So I was there doing some health education. There were kids school stuff, yabo. So I was there, that nurse who's busy. So I was there doing some health education, and I see her walking in, and I'm like, Haibo, is she here to give me support? Then she comes and says, have you delivered your talk? I'm like, no, not yet. And then she's like, okay, go deliver your talk and then come, I need to talk to you. Then I go to her, and then she's like, ish, Nana, it seems like we are in trouble. I'm like, what's going on? I got a call from the district and from the sub-district, and they are saying you are shooting videos within the DOH premises. The question is, who gave you permission to do that? Ndaraka. I lost my mind. I was like, so what does this mean? Are they asking me who gave me permission to health educate the public? Guys, when we were doing health education at nursing school, There was nowhere where they said you only do it in front of patients in the waiting room. Oh, please, you guys will tell me. You know, I'm opening up for criticism. There was nowhere where they said you have to do health education only in the consulting rooms. No. I said that to her. I was like, there was no way. Who asked you? I said to her, who asked you? Can we go and call this person? And then we called the lady, and she was like, yeah, someone sent us a video and you are shooting videos. And then she was like, so we wanted to know, who did you ask permission for? And then I said to her, I didn't know that I have to ask for permission to health educate patients. But since you are saying I need to, can you then refer me to the person who I'm supposed to ask permission from so that I can ask it? She wasn't certain, herself, she wasn't certain who I was supposed to ask permission from to shoot videos that are educating the public about the services that the government offers. Then she was like, oh, I'll get back to you. Let me go find out. Then she went on to speak to, if you guys watch my videos, there's a video where I spoke about a manager, a district manager, a program manager who used to be very supportive of me because I was passionate about his program, and that is that the late Ntate Botselo Ngwatu, he was a district program manager for adolescent and youth friendly. So my content was more adolescent targeted. Then this lady calls Ntate Botselo Ngwatu. She's not aware that Botselo and we get along. I understand the importance of these services to the young people. I mean, that's why I took my phone, my camera, and I started recording, because I know young people are online and young people needs to see that we've got family planning methods and this is how they work and all of that. So this lady then goes to Ntate Botselo and says, oh, do you know that Zanele is creating content, blah, blah, blah. She didn't ask for permission and all that, because he understood the politics within the workplace and how generally people who are working for Department of Health are always trying to bring others down. Because he understood that sometimes people at Department of Health will want to cover you like this. When you are shining like this cup, they will want to cover you because Galoku, your light as this cup is going to overpower theirs. Because he knew that DOH people sometimes become like that, he then calls me. He says to them, oh no, I didn't know she's creating videos, but you can ask her to contact me. He doesn't say to them, oh, don't worry, Zanele is so passionate about young people, let her continue. This lady comes back to me and says, yeah, apparently you're supposed to ask for a permission from the district, from this a district program manager. And then I said, are you talking about Botselo? And then she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll send her a video. I took the link of my of my TikTok, not TikTok, sorry, of my YouTube channel, sent it to Botselo, and I said, I'm doing this content, and they said I must ask for permission from you. And then do you know what Botselo did? Botselo took that video, sent it to National Department of Health, to the Director of Adolescent and Young People program, and said, there is a nurse in Bujanala who's doing videos on the services that are there for young people within the facilities. What do you think of this video? The director at National Department of Health came back to Botselo and said, she's doing such an amazing job. Just tell her to stop playing with her hair. Let her continue doing this content, but she should. So I was like, I think I had a weave. So I kept on like playing with my hair as I was doing the videos, and I think it was because I was nervous because I was doing this for the first time. But she gave that feedback that she's doing so well. And do you know why Botselo took that video and sent it to National Department of Health? Because she knew that if he could give me the permission from a district level, they might want to make things difficult for him and say, oh, he's favoring this kid, or maybe this kid is his girlfriend. So he took the video and sent it to National Department of Health so that the permission can come from higher up. That's how I won that case. But one thing I can tell you is that those people were coming for my head. They were coming for my head, and I think if I wasn't brave enough, they probably would have taken me out. There probably wouldn't be a Nurse Z today. I went into the website of the South African Nursing Council to look, okay, we are creating content as nurses. We are growing as nurses who are creating content, right? Nurses are here on TikTok. They are creating content around like the content I used to create back in the days. This is the family planning methods that are here. Or as mothers, exclusively breastfeed because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've seen a lot of young nurses. I've seen a lot of not young nurses, but I've seen a lot of nurses on here on TikTok, particularly midwives, educating mothers, talking about pregnancy related issues. And you guys know that maternal death, fetal death, all of those things are very big in our country, and the responsibility doesn't only lie on midwives, but also on the patient itself. Where are these pregnant women? They are here online. There are nurses who are creating such content, and I know a couple of them. They've been a couple of them who've came to me and said, yay, what happened to you there at DOH back in 2017, it's happening to me right now. I'm expected to stop creating content. And I went into the South African Nursing Council today, this week, looking for a communique or looking for a document that tells us as nurses to say you can't health educate patients online. There are also nurses in this very same there are also nurses in these very same platforms that we are talking about who are showing faces of patients, who are taking videos in, I've never seen them, but I hear people are saying they are there and these things are happening, who are showing videos of whether it's a peds ward, kids, or whatever. What are we saying about that? Is that acceptable? Is health education acceptable? Maybe us now. I looked for the document, I couldn't find it. Maybe you guys have provincial documents, right? But I need us to come now, and we need to talk about what is ethical and what is not ethical. What are the conducts? How should we conduct ourselves here online? And then we also need to write emails to the South African Nursing Council. We need to write them an email and say, can you please issue out a communique? I guess sometimes, even when they don't have a policy or a guideline or whatever, they sometimes are able to issue out a communique to say, this is South African Nursing Council standing. Can SANC say something? I want us, when we are done with this TikTok live, to agree that we are going to write an email, we are going to send DMs and ask them to say, SANC, what is your standing on the use of social networks as nurses? Now, the provinces, they might have their own guidelines and their own policies regarding this. And I'm interested to find out if your province does have a guideline, if your hospital, if your clinic, if your district does have a guideline on the use of social media as nurses. What are the do's and what are the don'ts? I'm going to need you guys to come in and we talk about this. I know there are some people who might not want to join the conversation, who might want to sit on here and just listen for certain reasons. I'm not going to send anyone invitations. If you feel like you've got something to say about this, I'm just going to ask you to send me a request. But I just quickly, I want us to quickly talk about this. There is the health education component of social media, and then there's the vlogging part of it, where we are showing patients. Some show patients. I vlog even now, right? I sometimes go to facilities, whether I'm going to provide training or I'm going to do technical support. I vlog. My vlogs. Boy, mom just sent me a heart. Thank you so much, my friend. And I'm mentioning her because there's a time where I was complaining that you guys don't comment on my vlogs, and these are the kind of vlogs where I would be going to a facility. I'm going to do an assessment, whether it's a SPIRT assessment or whatever. But when I reach the facility, like when I get to the gate of the facility, I switch off my camera, because I know that there is a possibility that as I enter the facility, drive into the facility, there might be a patient that is walking out and I might capture them. And that is not, I don't think that is allowed. I don't vlog when I'm within the facility walls, because I just don't know. I just don't know if a patient can pop. Sure, I can edit it, right? But do some people edit? Do some people don't edit? Student nurses, you vlog sometimes when you go to clinicals. Do you guys consider such things? Your colleagues, your fellow colleagues, do you guys consider them when you are vlogging? You know, I mean, I vlog in the presence of my CEO because they've given me the permission to do so. Masingeneni guys, sithetheni ngezinto. Yeah, akuzithetha mna ndedwa. Otherwise ndiyayicima yonke le nto ndadlala. I want to quickly just go through the comments. In the meantime, can you please come in? I'm going to bring in Benjamin Chomiam Yasenamibia. But for now, let me just quickly go through your questions before we step into this conversation. If there is a document that you've heard that your province has, please look it up right now. WhatsApp people, ask people to send it to you if you don't have it. But I want us to have this conversation. Manfaku Musa. Bye to Benjamin.
Okay.
Musa ngibani lokubuza ibanda ukufakile?
Sawubona zi. Ilona sithanda la endlini.
Molweni wethuna.
Njani?
Ngiyaphila ninjani?
Hayi, right man. Very interesting here. Ake ngisazama ukukufunela ipolicy yami nginayo nami social media policy, so I want just to draw it so far.
Okay, all right. Let me check comments for now. You are right, Z, and you were in your rights as a professional nurse and in your scope of practice. That is to health educate. Ngo Benjamin. Guys, am I gone or no? I think the two are the ones who are gone. Yeah. Wanted to check. Let's see. Also, I feel like these people create policies when it suits them. Hi, my friend.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I just want to just quickly check comments and then we get into this. My friend, you are saying they are witches.
Serious witches in the grave, I want to say.
I don't know why is my Teams still. I'm still getting messages from the nursing students thingy. Let me just switch off this laptop. Okay, there's someone who commented here. Okay, yeah, I think consent is very important when social media is concerned. Please, can we note that down, guys? Can we note that down? Sanibonani. Hello Thando. Hello Mandlovu. I take photos for memories, but I make sure that there is nothing that can identify the facility. You take pictures of what? Of people, of the furniture. Ngicela ukubuza ukuthi ithini topic. I-topic yanamhlanje Thando ithi, what is the ethical thing? Or not even the ethical, but what are the guidelines and the policies are saying pertaining to nurses and the use of social media? What is it that we are allowed to do with social media and what is it that we are not allowed to do? I went into the South African Nursing Council to see if I can find a policy or a guideline. I did not get anything. There is only, I think, code of ethics on the South African Nursing Council website, but it does not speak to the use of social media. So yeah, I need us to unpack it. And I said, I know that there are districts and provinces that have such policies. There are organizations that have such policies. And if they are there, can we pull up those policies? Can we read them? Can we interpret them and understand them? I think this is just a capacity building session, so that when you are summoned into an office, just like myself, when I was summoned back in 2017, you know what to say, you know what you are doing, whether you are doing something that is right or something that is wrong. Because sometimes people summon you and they themselves don't know if what you are doing is right. They summon you, ne? And they themselves don't know if what you are doing is right or wrong. Can you believe it? That's what's happening in our facilities. Okay. Maschaba says teams at this time. Cwenga just joined. Cwenga is the one that made me late here on TikTok today. I was with the South African Nursing Students Association. They had invited me to talk to them there. They kept me for an hour. Cwenga said she was going to keep me for 20 minutes, but she kept me for an hour. For example, I will take a selfie or do an OOTD in an empty room and no patient, just furniture. Okay. And even in the furniture, I make sure that there is nothing labeled with the facility's name. Hello, Huni. Even the sound will be off so that even if someone calls a patient's name in the background. Yeah, I hear you. I don't know if Umusa is done. There is a guideline that was sent to me. That is the only guideline I received. And it said that nurses, and it comes from one of the provinces, I won't mention which one, but it said nurses are not allowed to advertise or tout their services. And I think I want to ask you, how do you interpret that statement? Nurses are not allowed to advertise or tout their services. What is the meaning of that statement? What does that mean, you guys? Oh, boy, mamu requestile bedu na mchoma.
Is it that one for when they have a practice? Because I know when you have a practice, you're not allowed to advertise.
You are not allowed to advertise your services. And what do we mean when we are saying advertise, my friend? Is me saying, hey, my name is Ness Z and I have a clinic and you can find it in Elliotdale in rural Eastern Cape. I offer CTOP. I offer family planning. I offer antenatal care. Please come to my facility. Is this me advertising my practice?
I don't think they accounted for social media back then because it's one of those old regulations. If I remember well, I think what they speak about in that regulation is that you are not allowed to put up advertising in public, like billboards and all of those things.
Oh, guys, it's tough. And that's the statement I saw, my friend. And I think that the question I asked was, yeah, I think, Benjamin, would you say that the advertising that you just mentioned, because this is an old regulation, if a nurse is to come out and say, I work in a public facility and these are the things that we offer, you can get them in your nearest clinic, would we consider that advertising and touting as well?
Definitely not. That is health education. And I was listening to what you were saying. When you are in your capacity as a professional nurse, remember you have your independent scope of practice. Outside of your employment, you are a professional in your own right. Outside of your employment, you are allowed to give health education to the public regardless of where you are located, because you have the aspect of public health nursing in your community nursing. So you can push back if the facility says you're not allowed to, then maybe consider not doing the videos in the facility, doing it at home, and then they can't hold it against you, because you can always refer them to the Nursing Act to say that I'm allowed to give health education. According to my scope of practice, I'm allowed to give health education to the general public about services available at the Department of Health.
Right. Why, Mom? Do you have something to say? Do you have a policy or a guideline of some sort, my friend?
Molweni.
Evening.
For some reason, I'll let me apologize, Ellie. I don't know why I can't mute my mic. So after just this sharing nyancane, I'll leave the chat. I mean the live and then come back. I don't know why I can't close. I can't close. I can't mute. But anyway, I know for the municipality that I work for, there is. I was just trying to check on my emails now. There is something that says what are the boundaries of a nurse in with regards to social media, but at most they are speaking about when you decide, let's say I've got a dissatisfaction about something at work, and then going to social media to then let social media be the platform for me to raise content that I have. If I remember, there was an email that came. I'm just gonna look for it and read what it was saying exactly.
Yeah.
The one police I've once seen before, it was earlier on in social media. It was still when we were still just Facebook most of the time. I've never seen one that is updated now that we are in the ages of TikTok, where it's way more. I don't know if I should say revolutionary than Facebook, because they get to talk and record yourself and say this and this and that. I don't think it's that updated, the one that I've seen. Personally, because I try and avoid to post anything to do with work, simply because I think I'll make mistakes. I'll end up saying where I work. I'll end up saying what I'm not supposed to say. I'll end up saying, this, which I'm not supposed to say, whether it was social media or in a community meeting with just the community or wherever. So I try and avoid it, simply because most of the time when I present myself, I get to that space of wanting to say everything. There are people that I've seen that I feel when they post, I feel it was not a platform to raise whatever they're saying, using it wrong, if I may say so. There are nurses who are using social media in a good way to provide simple health education most of the time. There'll be the sister Mbali who normally talks, and then she'll be explaining what is PEP, why are you taking it in things that are just on the guideline without going off topic. There is who's this? There is this guy next with Dexter. I think I feel he represents what is in the guideline, whatever the EDL or APC is saying about a certain medication or a condition, they just speak on that. However, there are people who then misuse, go on further than I feel they should, because when you are wearing your uniform, there is something on the South African Nursing Council that talks about your epaulets and what is it that you can do with your epaulets and what's not. It's just that I haven't read, but I know there's a condition on what do you say, how do you speak when you are in uniform compared to when you are not in uniform. And also I think we need to also always consider the patient or the place of work where you are working, because unfortunately we are working in a department where there is a lot of what you call this confidentiality that we deal with. So you need to be very sure mawusho something ukuthi you're not infringing anyone's rights, you are still within the guidelines, and whatever you're saying, a lot of people are going to take it and run with it. If you are going to say, yeah, but it's okay if uzokhathingane, then you need to be knowing ukuthi there's a lot of people on social media who are going to take that and say, a sister once said it is okay ukuthi uzokhathingane, so we must be very careful also. What is it that we say? How do we say it? But also there are nurses who are very bold, who say stuff that I would like to say. Like, there are comrades who will say things that I really, really wanted to say, and they put it in a way that I really want to say it. And we are not the same. We are not going to be the same. There are people who are able to talk for themselves in a way that they can defend themselves. So you just need to find your way, ukuthi, what works for you on social media, what is it that you feel comfortable in saying and that you'll be able to stand by should there be any questions that arise. Yeah, I think that's my 2 cents for now.
Thank you, my friend. I've opened the code of ethics from the South African Nursing Council, and I think I want us to go through it at some point. But I'm gonna give over to Mandlov.
Yebo sanibona njani?
Siyaphila njani?
Ngiyaphila nami. Noma ngingasakhumbuli kahle kodwa I once work esibhedlela. Ngiyakhumbula nje bethi mawufuna uku-advertise something you must go ku-public relations office and try to get into ey'concerned ekuvumelayo ukuthi you can go to radio or anywhere bese uya kuleyo platform, but provided your hospital have i-document eshilo ukuthi wena uzohamba uyokwenza that article, ba aware ngale article ozoyiconfire ngaleso sikhathi. But it's something back then ukuthi vele I'm not longer working in the hospital yabo, and I'm no longer working with states, so I don't know izinto ezakurrently enzakalayo. But what I know nje with the social media ukuthi kwaqale kwavala ama-phone kwathiwa let us do i-phone policy whereby ama-phones ahlale switch off during ama-consultation. But all in all ku-right kodwa manje ngendlela yokusebenza ku-end up ama-phone esebenza, not because uyisebenzisa ngoba vele kufanele uyisebenzise, kodwa indlela ekwazi ukuxhumana ngayo nodokotela ngendlela yokusebenza. Thola ukuthi ifone ye-state ayisebenzi, une-emergency, yabo ukuthi kwi-situation enjalo you end up using your phone to call the hospital with your own airtime because you want to save this life. So ezinye izinto yabo uzusho ukuthi ena angithandi ukuzenza, kodwa manje uyabona ubuya lapha kwi-health, total health of my patient would be first consideration. Uvela ubuka zonke lezo zinto ugcina ungasazi. Nanje esho ukuthi sesenzelwa no lab track emafonini. Yabona? Ugcina ungasazi ukuthi kahle kahle bayifunani ifoni, khona ke wathi ena izinto bayisebenzisa ngoba ishootha bona. Ilento ke yenzakalayo because you cannot tell me ukuthi efonini yami kuma app ami izoba no lab track. Yabo ukuthi mina kushuthi ngisho ngisekhaya ngi-accessible to read your results at home, provided I do have data. Yabo i-confidentiality ayisekho still lapho. So even no developments omunye akwazi ukufaka ifonini. Yabo nje inzima lento ye-social media ngoba ikaningi, ngoba even nama-department they do have social media. They do have social media whereby
Yes.
ba-advertise nabo izinto zaka-health la whereby beba nama-health talk. Manje ugcina ungasazi noma is it a norm ukuthi i-social media yasetshenziswa ka-health noma isetshenziswa abantu abathile, because they do have i-page whereby ama-patient ayacomplaina kuwona and bakuthatha to consideration. Uthola ukuthi they send in the WhatsApp or Facebook i-screenshot is sent all over the country. Ababonesi banqunu onesi abafuna. You remember there is an article eyokugcina nje kuyavela ngonesi whereby unesi she was drunk at work, even though wayengenzanga kahle, but ngokubuka kwami mina I think that time she needed disciplinary action appropriately with nursing. Nanokuthi esinye isikhathi the core factor yokuthi why she was like that we'll never know. People are dealing about anything. We're not just dealing about patients only. We do have our own life at the background. You'll never know. Maybe it's the way she was coping. Maybe he lost someone at home. We don't know. Sometimes ezinye izinto mina esayidini lami ngiye ngithi there's a reason behind umuntu indlela abayiyona, especially thina as nurses. There's a lot that you are dealing about. We don't deal about patient on its own pain. There are many things esidila nazo. Our personal life, our families, our friends, our wild community, yabona. So nje into kanjalo. So ugcina ungazi ngempela size ukuthi kahle kahle social media obani, because ukuthola ukuthi ucharge kwi-case esende ku-social media uyithola ucharge to abhala, uzobhala kanjani into ekhulunywa social media? How sure you are? Yabona, abantu nje mabenganthandanga they will put you on Facebook. abantu maningenzanga kade befuna eclinic, they will put you on social media ngenxa yokuthi awenzanga lento ayithandayo, wenze the opposite. So asazi, let's
I
hope
think
uNursing Council will provide the guidelines. Sithemba kanjalo.
we need
One
it.
day.
We need it when Mandlovu, because I feel like we might feel like we understand each other here, right? And we are talking the same language. No, health education is fine, is acceptable. But in the facilities, it becomes a different story. And we can't wrap up and I don't want to say and fool each other. I don't want to say that. Ne? What we are saying here, we need not to speak about our feelings, but we need to speak about the reality and what is happening, and how are we then going back to facilities and facing some of the challenges and the obstacles. And some of us in here are already operational managers, and we are seeing Benjamin just sent me something. My friend, can you please send it on the email, because now I can't view it here on the phone. Can you please send it on the email, tekisozanele91@gmail.com, so I can view it on the laptop. But what I'm saying, guys, some of us here are managers, right, in the facilities, and we have nurses who are vlogging, taking pictures. There's a video where someone was mentioning this, and I came into the comment section and I said, oh, someone was saying, oh, those who are vlogging, can you guys please stop posting patients? And then I came in and said, but do people really post patients? And someone came on the comments on under my comment and said, yes, Nezzy, they do. They post people's patients' pictures online. And I got shocked. Those things, they also happen. We need to admit, guys, that those things are also happening within our facilities and within the government or private sector. I don't know, but we need to live this life. My thing is, we need to live this life with some tangible information of what is out there, what guidelines are there, what policies are there, and what is the way forward. There are also nurses who are here creating valuable content for the public. That is pregnant moms, people living with HIV, valuable content that I feel it is helping us to strengthen the outcomes of our programs. And those nurses are facing leaders and managers in the workplace who are saying, oh, why are you on TikTok? Why are you creating nursing education videos on TikTok? I want us also to be able to live this TikTok life with those nurses saying, okay, I know that I'm going to pull this document to back my story up when it comes to why am I creating health education online, not just a conversation on Nezzy. I want to go back to Musa. Musa, you were looking for a document. I don't know if you found it.
Sure, inkinga zami ziningi angiyitholi le document, but I can just stipulate what I know. Maybe the perspective I have, you know, I'm based in a private sector.
Yeah.
So in a private sector, Tina, mhlawumbe singaqhamukela with a lot of parts from sebenzisa phone first. Utilizing the phone, it is allowed, but not within the patient's bedside, but it can be in the ward. You can try to maybe get a place separately. First of all, we are required, me as a manager, first of all, I've got an allowance for cell phone. So just in case if I'm on call, so I must have my cell phone always. It must be with me whenever I'm needed. I need to participate on the WhatsApp, though there is no policy for WhatsApp groups and stuff. That's a story for another day. Because some other people, they might think they're obliged to be on the WhatsApp group for the company, but there is nothing. There is actually no one can charge you on the basis of leaving the WhatsApp group for the hospital. But nonetheless, me as a person who is getting the allowance, cell phone allowance, I'm required to have my cell phone always. Secondly, there are apps that we use. Kule company engisebenzelayo, we use, there is an app called Tendables where we do audits. We do it each and every day, each and every day. Most of the with most of the apps that we use. Secondly, someone who's doing medication in the ward, uma nje allocated for medication in my unit, you must have EM guide and you must utilize it when you are giving medication. So someone who's giving medication can start giving medication from 8 until 12. So that means you will be on your phone from 8 until 12. As long as you're not going to make mistakes with medication administration, it's fine because there is a trolley for medication. Then you can put your phone there. And whenever I pass there, I don't ask you what are you doing with your phone, because I expect you to be on EM guide so that you can verify medication and get side effect and give health education to the patient with regards to the side effect. Then lastly, when we talk about then the social media, in my company, I think there is a social media policy. Even in my previous company, we had. Let me make an example. If you go through my profile, you will see that I was once put in a mascot, Gaga Leni the lion. So when we went in the hospital, before I went to shoot that, we went in all the PITS unit, we asked the consent from the mothers, they signed, and then we came in with the video. We did videos, we took pictures. You see all of those things. So it regulates ukuthi, is the patient agreeing or the mother of the patient agree that you have this picture as the company's property. So
Okay. So, sorry, ukungena emlonyeni Musa. You were doing this in your capacity as the institution, not as Umusa.
No. We were doing it as an institution. It was an initiation to boost our patient experience and just to boost morale in our hospital. Our hospital previously, it was not of a good image, so we had to engage a lot to try and bring back the image of the hospital. So it was one of the initiatives with regards to the kids. So I went that mascot, and then we went to all the in reception, welcoming the kids, coming to the wards, coming for procedures, accompanying them to theater sometimes. But it was just that few days things when we have got those drive. But consent was very important, because we had a special form for video and photographer
Yeah.
that it stipulates the POPI Act, that we're going to respect the POPI Act, blah, blah, blah. We are obliged as a company to honor this and this and this, and then they will have to sign it, and then we can take pictures, and then it can be the company's property. But otherwise, to give health education at your capacity as an RN, as you were saying, we really need SANGO to regulate something
Yeah.
that will cover us. Ngoba bonke labantu age who think they know everything, and they don't know nothing. They don't want to read. They're lazy even to read. And they come to tell you that it is not allowed. Permission. Yeah, and a certificate, because you are certified as a registered nurse, because you qualify to be an advocate, you qualify to be a teacher, you qualify to be all of these things. So what other permission do you need from who to give health education if you are qualified to give health education and you are certified? So I think that's that from my side. But I think I'm not sure if this video is recorded. I will try and get this policy and just pin it on this video if that's possible. Maybe I will just screenshot a few important things that we need with regards to social media, because definitely I know we've got a social media policy and a cell phone usage policy. There are two policies. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Musa. I want to go to Mpume. You mentioned I brought you in Tepi, so I saw your request, but we are still when someone steps down, you're gonna come in. Mpume, you mentioned something on the comment section that at school they said something about. There's a comment that said, "My friend, can you please share that comment with us and share a bit on that?"
Oh, all right. Good evening, guys. Tina, at school we were taught Uguti. I think it's one of the R387. Yeah. From there because we sense the dynamics. So we were taught Uguti. as a nurse, you not allowed to influence people because you are a nurse. You can't use your profession to influence people in any shape or form. So you cannot wear epaulets and stand in front of the camera and say, for example, oh, Pampers, for example, is better than Huggies. Yeah? And then you cannot come to social media and teach people about something that is not scientifically proven. And also you are not allowed to like, for example, if you are at work and you touch a camera yakho and put a phone and start teaching while you in the premises of emsebenzini, you are not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed
yeah.
to take a phone and do health
let's
education.
say yes, you are at work, ne, a consultation room, then you start teaching, like you do whatever you teach or whatever. You're not allowed actually to do that in the premises, where else you don't have a permission from the institution that you are working from, when you are doing content in the premises. So we are not allowed to, let's say we are in the hospital and say, no, today I can't, ngihlangane nomama bega umntanakhe bega dehydrated, I want to teach you about dehydration. No, you can do that in your capacity, but not in the premises and also not in the uniform.
Okay.
So you can teach, like they taught us that you can teach people in your capacity as a nurse, because you can and you're allowed. Maybe let's say you are in your room and say, guys, I am a nurse, let's talk about dehydration. Yeah? But while you're in your uniform, your epaulets, and at work, that's where the issue comes in, because you need the permission from DOH to do those kind of content.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I know.
Very important low point, Leo, when Ampumi, the one that you made, because it speaks to what I shared earlier on. I didn't see you when you were coming in, so I don't know when did you come in. I shared that I used to create videos, and I think Nana, we've followed each other for a long time online. I used to create videos on my YouTube channel when I started in 2017, and I would shoot them in the morning in my consulting room before we start working. Did someone go out so that I can bring in a piece of mercy? But I used to shoot these videos, Mpume, in the morning before we start working. When the patients are praying there, I would be shooting to say, guys, this is Depo, it's 3 months. This is Nestrate, it's 4 months. Those are the things I used to do. And from what you are saying that during your undergrad, I'm thinking this is undergrad,
Yes, it's undergrad.
yeah, that was not acceptable. That is not right?
Yes.
Because it's within the premises of DOH. I want to quickly
Yes, unless you have
a
unless you
permission.
have something written to say you are a permission that Sister Z in this facility is a head of communications and media, she can do it. Yabo, then you can do it and even post it on your thing. But provided you will be covered to say, okay, when they start saying, oh Z, why are you sharing this? And I say, no, my employer said I can spread the word. Yabo. Yeah, even with outbreaks and COVID, you are not allowed to say, now I'm a nurse because I'm working at Steve Biko and what. No, you can advise people, but don't influence them because you are a nurse.
You can
that's what I
advise.
said.
You
I'll
can
just find the
my
document,
friend.
but
You can
yes,
advise,
you
but you
can
can't
advise,
influence.
but not influence them. Yes.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Lunga, hi. Before Lunga comes in, let me read this, guys. It is the Social Media Policy Guideline 2011. I got it from U Benjamin. I just want to read a statement from that document. So this one does not necessarily speaks to us as nurses, but it speaks to social media use in general. Okay, it says, okay, it says professionals should conduct themselves on, okay, it says the document speaks to how professionals should conduct themselves on social media. It gives general principles like being credible, respectful, honest, and professional online. So it doesn't distinguish it doesn't distinguishes between, oh sorry, it also distinguishes between official communication when posting on behalf of a department or government and personal use. I think it goes back to what Umpume was saying, that when you are posting within the premises of the department, it then appears like it is an official statement, Mume. Is that what we are saying? If I'm shooting these videos and I'm within my consulting room, that then appears as though I'm doing an official statement on behalf of the government, or on behalf of DOH, versus me shooting it here in my bedroom at home. Then that says it's a personal.
Yeah. Yes, you are doing it as a nurse because you are capable and like you are professional and you are capable and you qualify to do that. But if you are in the God department, it's like now the department said you must talk about it, you must do. It's another thing.
Okay, I hear you.
That's what they taught us at school. Yeah.
Okay, so listen to this. It says, for personal use, it emphasizes keeping government / confidential information private. Don't mix personal activities with official government communications. Avoid misuse of government time. Hey, property and branding. Never, guys. It avoid misuse of government time. But okay, sharp. Property and branding. Did you hear me? I wanted to be defensive, and I stopped myself. I think carefully before posting, since even in personal capacity, your government affiliation may be known. Hey, guys. Let me go to Ulunga before I continue with this thingy. Hi, my friend. Happy New Year. I haven't spoken to you this year.
Hi, Z. Hi, colleagues. Hey, Uzende Enyezi. And you know, I think I think it's about time that we have this discussion. If you follow most of the podcasts and if you follow most of the younger generation that is on social media, they are very particular with their wording when they are talking. They usually use allegedly
True.
when they are using when they are alluding to something that is not that might not be factual. They put disclaimers when they are talking about a certain brand that is not paying them to advertise, or they are not they are endorsing it, but they are not given authorization to do so. And I think it's high time that we as colleagues start learning from these young people,
Yeah.
because some of us end up acting as if we are really making official communication that is from the employer or even from the department, whereas that was not our intentions. So I think maybe we should put those disclaimers also, colleagues. And at the same time, there is also, you spoke about something just now of the separation between the personal and the professional use of social media. I think that is very critical. Have you seen those trends whereby I think I've seen nurses do it, whereby your nurse at 4 a.m. is at groove with a bottle of whatever in their hand. They are dancing, they are twerking, doing whatever. And then at 7 a.m., they are wearing their
He's wearing
uniform,
uniform.
they are
Hey,
in the ward. I do not know what to think. For me, it's distasteful. It
Yeah.
really is for my profession, because it gives a wrong image of what the profession is about,
Yeah.
and what the use of social media should be about. If you go through my profile, you'll never see me with epaulets.
Yeah.
You'll never see me wearing uniform on Facebook, on TikTok, anywhere where you find my profile. That is my that is my personal decision. You understand? But then you'll find Nancy, who is an advocate for what she does. She loves her job. Not that I do not love it, but do you understand what I mean? And then
Yes.
you get people like Nes Dexter, that is here. That guy is passionate about what he's doing. He's educating the nation, something that an introvert like me would not be able to do. But now, I think the challenge is when I, as an introvert, want to impose my feelings onto how this is supposed to be happening in terms of e-health education. If you, I think even when we are starting, you even mentioned that we should not be mixing feelings into this.
Yes.
The truth of the matter is that our employers, you would swear that we are led by dinosaurs. You would really swear that we are led by dinosaurs, because the only thing that you will find in our contracts, even in the NGO space that I'm in, is just something that says maybe 2-3 lines that says that you should not be putting the organization into disrepute.
Yeah.
If you take such actions, there will be action taken against you, and that's full stop. Most of our employers do that. So, now, colleagues, I think we should be more aware of the litigations and the victimizations that we are opening ourselves into, in terms of learning from the young people that are on social media, how they are doing it. Look at, for instance, the guy who's doing podcast and chill. That guy, you would swear that he's untouchable, because whenever he's doing something, he's got a fact checker. He's got ways and means of making sure that he's protected and his space is protected in himself. So I think it leaves us at a gray area, and I really hope that Sang does something about it, or issues statements on this thing, so that we become a progressive profession. If you remember the conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago, whereby we were talking about the styles of management, or the management that we are having in the institutions that are like dinosaurs, we really need management and leadership that is innovative and progressive, so that we keep with the times. Otherwise, our departments are not saying anything when it comes to these things. The only thing that they do is really react, as Ulenduka Sistandos did say. They react whenever they feel like you have touched on their toes, or how they feel about that certain issue. Then they want to punish someone. So, my colleagues, I think that's my thing. Let's learn to put disclaimers and learn to protect ourselves.
My friend, I love how you are saying these organizations, they just say if you put the organization in
Disrepute.
we will do something about, like something is going to be done. You see how that is just one sentence, but when they are coming for you, they get to unpack it in ways that were not written, that you yourself was not aware of. So we
And just to add on that, Z, if you have seen the pattern of people that are usually out to cancel people when some people do say certain things that are wrong, they have a tendency of writing to an employer and asking them, is this the image or representation that you would like for your institution, your company, or your organization? And then that institution will come back and say, no, this one is fired already. That's the reality that we are dealing with.
So this document that Benjamin sent me, and that is the social media policy guideline. And remember, guys, it is not a nursing guideline. I think it's the one that, I don't know if it's Boy Mom or who, but someone mentioned it. It's a 2011. It's a very old guideline. the do's here are be professional, protect confidentiality, separate personal and work. Or maybe I should elaborate. Always, so it's be professional, always be respectful, honest, and cautious in online interactions. Protect confidentiality, never share patient information, photos, or cases that can be that can identify individuals. What do we mean when we are saying don't share cases that can identify individuals?
I think lapho simention ukuthi ama-cases angayenza ukuthi isitori usheshe ukwazi ukusi-relate like i-example ake sithi kube ne-case whereby a pregnant woman delivered in a taxi. You remember that story? That story, it was brought baze ba-emphasize ukuthi they must teach ama-taxi drivers how to deliver children. And I laugh because I think of all the processes that are happening before delivery. It's not like the way they see ukuthi driver was able to hold the head and the child comes out. Akwenzeki kanjalo. In real nursing, there are steps that are involved when the child has been kwibirth yengane. Kwenzeki njengoba bakubona etextini, but ngendlela base bepraise ngayo kwi-social media kwangathi kulula and kunormal. That's why I used to say nursing is not what people they think. Nursing is hard. Nursing needs brain and intelligence. You can see things easily, like okay, to give someone injection. Ungakubona kulula, but when you go deep down about how to administer an injection, it's difficult because you don't just inject anyhow. There is a process. We have been told how to inject the patient. So I was surprised if they were saying now even at social media they make a joke ngaleyo nto ukuthi even taxi drivers they can make someone to deliver a child as if kwaku-right kanti circumstances eyenzeka at that time. That's all. Asazi bafethu eSouth Africa. Those are the
Let me
circumstances.
go
Yabona
to
izinto as
Benjamin. Do you want to come in before I go to Tepiso and Portia?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm also having the same problem with Tando not being able to mute now. So I think what they
oh,
mean
sorry, Benjamin. Sorry, Benjamin.
no, it's okay. I'm saying yeah, but I think when they say don't share, what was it that you said, Z?
It says don't share a course. It's just that my laptop restarted. Okay, let me quickly. But it says don't share a case that might be able to that would make it easy for the patient to be. Let me read it exactly
Yeah,
as it is.
I
don't
think
want
what it means there is, say for instance you have a patient that is maybe having diabetic foot in your ward, and then you say no, that one had oozing and it was really red and sore and smelled bad. So that patient might link that you are speaking about them in that case
Okay.
and can then take it up. So that's what I think that one means specifically.
Okay, yeah. It says or cases that can identify individuals. And maybe before I go to Tepiso, I don't know who came first between Tepiso and Portia, but before I go to them, let me finish these do's, right? And then it says separate personal and work. Keep personal accounts. This is what Lunga was talking about actually. It says keep personal accounts distinct from professional/nursing roles. This is what Lunga was talking about, right? And I think I wanted to say the same thing to emphasize rather on what Lunga was saying. Lunga says he doesn't post himself at all with anything that makes him to be identified as a nurse out here. And then there's me, who constantly, like literally even my name says nurse, right? Sometimes if you guys see me on these trendy TikTok videos, I sometimes even comment, there's a TikTok today that I saw where a baby mama was complaining about a baby daddy. And I wanted ukthukisa kula comment section, but I could not. And most of the times when I wish I can engage like that, where I'm also like going crazy, I just type, I wish ndingathukisa by MNS, and I stop there. I never go on people's TikTok videos where I feel like ndi rage and I wanna swear as well. Kuyathukwa, wonke umuntu sithuka lo baby daddy nomama akhe. But I wish I can do that, but I don't. I just come in and say, oh, I wish ndingathukisa, but I am a nurse because I've branded myself as a nurse here, and I know that whatever I do or say, somehow it reflects on nursing. But with Lunga, it's different because his account is completely himself, and I think it means that here when it says separate work from personal from work, separate them, keep personal accounts distinct from professional or nursing roles. I think before you post, we need to literally immerse myself in that one. And then the other one says respect copyright. That is only share images, articles, or content you have rights / permission to use. Sure. Actually, this document, it is helpful, you guys. So I guess we have to ask ourselves in the facilities, what is it that we have the right to use and what is it that we don't have the right to use if we want to shoot stuff in there, isn't it? Now it goes back to, I think I have a question that I would ask to say, is it wrong to even shoot the furniture?
See, one thing you said, it's one of the first videos I watched. You said always make sure that you say in the video that this is lunchtime or after work, so that the government doesn't say or your employer doesn't say you're using their free time. I mean the paid time.
So here they're saying promote health positively, share accurate, credible health information when relevant, maintain integrity, correct mistakes quickly if you share something that is inaccurate. Then they are dons. I'll probably get on them later on. So between you and Portia, I don't know who came first, but I wanted to give one of you guys an opportunity.
Hi, everyone. Sure, I got here very late. I joined in late, but it's a very interesting topic, Leni Kuluma today, and it's one where I've once found myself, I don't know whether to say a victim or a suspect. So, probably about 2 years ago or so, at that time when after COVID, when TikTok was still the thing, I remember I used to post a lot on TikTok. But if you go to my very old videos, you would see Guti. It's me in uniform, either correcting a misconception that people have. I'll make an example. People saying Guti, amamangos they cause jaundice or in. But I would use sounds that would be catchy and make it gube a joke. But now the problem is that the minute somebody sees you in uniform and either you are giving health education or whatever the case is, now they turn your comment section into a consulting room. Ne? And then now people, because when you are not in the space or the capacity to be consulting people on the comment section or asking them further probing questions, you will just simply say, hey dear, please go to the nearest clinic or whatever advice that you give them. But the problem is that somebody else will come in and say, hi Sisi, Mina, I mixed Disprin with J's fluid and it worked for me. You understand? And now the video blows up. Now you have 300 consultations with 400 people answering each other and giving each other recommendations, and you don't know how to stop the fire because now it's just burning everywhere. You understand? And also the other thing, when it comes to social media, even if when on your side, because some people will say, okay, I don't use my platform to promote health or put out health related stuff that is happening out there. Guys, we need to be very careful when it comes to the comment section. Something that you just mentioned right now, Guti. Sometimes a video but your comment is visible to other people. Other people can see Uti Nesli commented here and said 1, 2, 3. You know, recently we had Operation Tutula that was happening. And I think when it comes to politics and all of those things, you find yourself in the fence. You don't know what you wanna come to the side, but also because of the profession that you serve, Guti, you can't say Guti, you took an oath and then you are agreeing with this, or you are saying Guti, you don't agree with this because you took an oath and this, that, and that. Bese kube khona omunye azothi, "Ya, sidliswa wuwe." So nakhona there are things that you will feel good, ngifuna ukusho man. But remember, your name will be there, and somebody might be saying, "Oh, nangoge, I found the person that has been saying that these people should go. I have their name and surname and their LinkedIn profile. They work for Kokaikai, and therefore I'm gonna write an email and say, Guti, an employee of your company said Operation Tutula is right, or what yonke lento le." Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, kumathembisa. Besithetha ngalo Operation Tutula the other day.
I just sent to Boy Mom the policy because I remember it was once sent to me by a colleague. Now, Koina, you need to understand the space that we are in, guys. We need to understand that we work with different personalities. Sometimes you are having fun on TikTok and doing whatever that you want to do, but then there's a colleague of yours that is a bit more strict or doesn't like the way you do things, or mhlambe an older generation that will say, "In our times we were never doing these things, you younger generation don't take stuff seriously," and then she takes up your videos and your content to say, "Hi management, Usbanban is doing this, are you gonna do something about it?" You understand? I once found myself in that situation. Luckily, after scrutinizing the videos, they were found Gucci. There wasn't anything harmful to it. But imagine if ever there was something that I had done and somebody had taken that step to say, "Okay, maybe I work for the department of whatsoever. We might not have a strict rules as much as private companies. Banban did 1, 2, 3, and I want to see how far they are going to take this, or are they just gonna let them go?" So guys, be careful. And then I know Wuti, guys, we are working under very harsh conditions, staff shortages, and all of that. There are so many challenges, but social media is not the place to vent. When
Yeah.
you come here, you come and you tell people about how you are being treated, gabshungu, and your manager is doing 1, 2, 3. It's very easy for another person to know, which I know this person has been posting maternity related videos and they work at a particular hospital. The manager must be this person. And then now people are coming after that person. And you don't know how far that person will take it to say, when you thingy attracting a cyberbullying towards my name. People that I don't know are coming to attack me, they're inboxing me, or they're inboxing my daughter to say, "Umama kukhohlakele,"
Yeah.
or whatsoever. You might be feeling guilty. There's so much grievance on your side, but be careful about what you want to say or want to do lapha ngaphandle ku social media. It's very fast. People screen record, people save these things, they last forever. And guys, don't do it. Just don't do it. If ever you know, Uguti, you are giving health education. I think that has been said. We ask Guti, you are saying stuff that you can back up. Don't mention people's names. Don't mention institutions' names. Don't mention your working conditions. Tinala, we will laugh and side with you and give you advice. But when you are under fire, we won't be there to say, "Hey, sorry, vele lo muntu bamphathe kabi nana."
I love that today. I think if there is, guys, it's raining. I think you can hear, ne? I hope you're not gonna lose me because of network. And also I hope they don't send lightning in my house. But I'm glad that, and I think I know we've got content creators in here who are listening. Some of them can't join the panel because there are certain issues, ne? So I would love to refer some of you guys to this document that I got from U Benjamin. That is the social media guidelines ECA 2011. Go and read the do's and don'ts that I read here. They are there. Have that guideline. For those who are being questioned currently, I think this guideline has shown us, and thank you so much, Mpume, also for bringing this to our attention, that we're not supposed to shoot in the hospital premises. It says here that that's not our property. So be at your own environment. And I mentioned as well that you need to mention that this is not the state's time or my employer's time. This is my own personal time. There is Utwenga. Utwenga had said she's gonna send me a document from Limpopo. I wanted to view it before you guys lose me because of the network. I wanted to view that document. If Utwenga is still here, please share that document because I would love to see it. I know that KZN says that nurses are not allowed to advertise and tote. And I think we defined that. We did define what that means, right? I'm interested to see what Limpopo says. I don't know if Twenga is still here or she logged off. But this TikTok live, I'm also gonna share it on my YouTube channel for people to have it. What do we do in cases of protest? Umzabalazo. Umzabalazo is protocol broken. What do we do then? Nguhu Nandi, let me bring her in. Portia, my darling, let me give you this mic before you kill me. Twanga, can you please, sorry, Twanga, I just saw Twanga coming in. Twanga, can you please send me the document again, my darling? I didn't get it. Over to you, Posh.
Dumelang, guys. Now I just wanted to ask, when you guys are talking about health education, what exactly are you talking about? And also, do you consider Poppy Act when you record around your patients or around your facilities and whatnot? I'm not big on social media. I'm sure a lot of people can see from my profile. I don't know much about posting and whatnot. So I just wanted to know, because I know a lot of people who do post about with patients around them. Do you go to your patients and ask them for consent that I post on social media, but I won't show your face, or can I show your face or whatever? Can we talk on social media or whatnot? But I'm just asking.
And these people are nurses, Portia.
Yes, nurses in the hospitals.
They shoot with patients.
Some of them sit with patients and shoot with them. That's why I'm asking, do you ask permission? Because now that's where you're putting yourself at risk as nurses.
Hey guys, I don't even think are we even allowed, guys, to ask our patients that can I post you on social media? Why are we doing that, guys?
That's the thing. You ask
it done, guys. Have you seen it happening? I've never seen it.
Do you realize the dangers you're putting yourselves in when you post, or maybe you post around your facilities that you are mixing drugs, you are mixing that, you are doing that, you are doing that. Do you realize the dangers of what you are doing?
You know, Portia, what you are saying about taking a video of myself while mixing drugs. Do you know what they can say? Do you know what problem can come out of that? To say I was distracted. You are mixing a patient's medication.
Exactly.
This is critical. And then you are busy with your phone there and you are shooting content. Like, where is your mind? Is your mind here or is your mind shooting the content?
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm asking now, I just wanted to know. So you keep saying, no, it's health education, it's what.
Let me tell you.
What is health education now? What is health education? What does it have to do now with you posting patients and talking to patients? And what does that have to do? Because now, yes, we can understand if you're sitting at home and you're talking about collagen. Okay, now I'm using collagen and it's working for me. It's doing 1, 2, 3. I can get that. But now when you're at work and you're posting and you're doing videos or you're busy while you say you're working, what does that mean?
And it is. I don't know, Portia, but I think you've been here for a long time. You had that guideline, social media guideline. It says we must not use the government's time.
Yes. But
can I come in, Z?
We see these things, and unfortunately, I don't know if people understand that, especially in the private sector, that when they want to kick you out and destroy your company, your career, it just takes a small thing, Jay, and they will blow it up. It's like you said now when you say when you were talking about how it looks to the company, what you're doing, how it looks to the company, how it can diminish the company's image. It's a small sentence in a policy, but when they come and they put you down and they blow it up in front of you,
Yeah.
you don't even realize the damage you've actually caused
For yourself.
yourself.
Mm.
And
Lunga?
also
Mercy, can I come
there's
in?
now this new policy, Poppy Act, and Poppy Act is saying, no, don't do this, confidentiality patients, and don't whatnot and whatnot. And when you're doing all these videos and whatnot, I just don't understand.
Yeah. Lunga?
Portia is raising something else now here. You know how the law works is very different from how we feel about what we are doing.
Yeah.
Because she's asking about the Poppy Act. Are you considering it? And now, when you mention that in a litigation, for instance, there will be many books, many quotations, many citations of laws, ethics, policies that are going to be read with that Poppy Act that you are only mentioning. Do you understand what I mean? We cannot be looking at it like donkey with blinkers when you're looking at something that might end you up in a litigation. You must be able to apply of what is this thing of pharmacology, whereby if one is on a trolley and issuing medication, they are not supposed to have any distractions. That is going to go along with that act on the litigation. So it's very dangerous for us to look at one aspect of the law and the ethics and then think that we are covered. We must be able to look at it and make sure that we are covered in all aspects that have to do with nursing and how we are support and the policies of our workplaces. And I think it Poppy Act, she made me also think of another issue when I say that might be a thorn in the flesh of the community and the patients that are taking videos of us in the workplace. What happens then? Because it ends up in social media. And Poppy Act will tell you that if one is in a conversation with another and you pull up camera, you have a legal right to record the person that you are in a conversation with for evidence. So if one is pulling out in a camera, are we supposed to protect ourselves, or are we supposed to let them be because we are civil servants? I think that is something that we also should also discuss, because it has happened that in many cases that civil servants refuse to be recorded, and most of the time people are recording us when they want to expose us through social media, and the power of social media turns into something else. I think it's just something that I want to raise with this Poppy Act thing.
You know, Leslie, I don't know what his name is, but
It's
what he
Lunga.
just is also very true, because back in the hospital I was working in Kimberley, you will see around the ward, in the wards, on the walls, they would put up what you call this, posters, sort of,
Yeah.
saying no cameras, no pictures, no whatnots, and no
At the
because you
hospital.
find in the hospital.
Mm.
And you'll find Uguti patients, visitors, they will come in and try to take videos of the charts of the patient and whatnot, saying they are gathering information or evidence or whatever the case may be. So when now when the company is saying patients are not allowed to do it, why when as a nurse now are you taking out your phone and now trying to make videos, or maybe you want to dance there but the patient's there in your backgrounds? What do you call that?
Guys, do they really do it? Yo, I haven't seen.
Yes, they do it. They do it.
Those ones are playing with their own certificates, guys. Come on.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous out here, Nezzy. So now I was just asking, when people keep saying no, we are giving health education, or we're just trying to educate the community and whatnot, where do you draw the line?
True. Very important question to say, like, where do
Where do
you
you draw the line? You get to know, okay, fine, yes. Mauza come with tablets and say, the doctor gave me this tablets, what does it do? Do you then say, no, go back to the doctor and ask your doctor why they gave you that tablet?
Yeah.
Or do you now take it upon yourself as a nurse and say, hi, bo, but this tablet can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and it can do 3, 4, 5, 6. And then then that person will go back to the doctor. Yeah, you're trying to kill me. Oh, Portia said 1, 2, 3. Do you see how we putting ourselves at risk? How we are killing our own careers?
I just, am I here or am I gone?
You're still here.
You are here.
Okay. Electricity just went away. You might lose me, but let me continue with my data. Pela is our pale. Portia, do you think it is wrong for me? Okay, according to this document that we read today, it states that it is wrong for me to sit in a consulting room alone by myself and start saying, oh guys, this is Depot, this is Nestrate. This particular policy that we read today, it says it is wrong for me to do that, right? Do you think we should continue as nurses to use the social media as a platform to health educate the patients in a true sense of health education? You asked about what is health education. Health education is giving a structured information to a patient to improve their well-being, right? You can do it either to a patient or in a community. That is health education. Hence, we are able to stand in front of them in the waiting area. We are able to go to their events and give health education. Do you think that it is, and I'm saying think, I'm not saying this is what you are saying. Do you think that it is okay for us, for me to sit here in my house and say, guys, at DOH, we've got Nestrate, we've got Petogen. Is that acceptable? Would you say that is okay? We can do that? Considering that we are living in a world that is moving towards innovation and the digital world, you guys. And nursing is most likely going to move, or not even going to, it's moving towards that direction as well, even though our guidelines currently are not covering us on that. What's your take? Do you think it's okay for Nezzy to sit in her house like this right now at 8 p.m. and start shooting videos pertaining to the services that are out there for young people in South Africa?
I feel, Nezzy, ukuthi it will come as to how you are protecting yourself when you are giving that information.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have been saying here, it will all depend on how your audience is receiving it. You understand? So as much as you'll be saying, no, this is Depot and it will work for you 1, 2, 3, and it will work for such and such patients. I can come and say, no, but Unezi said this will work for me. You understand? So it's, yes, in a health education sense, and because you are recording your videos and because you have proof, but I never said it will work for you specifically, Portia. I just said it works for people who are 1, 2, 3, which affects, I would hope, that you'll be giving facts about whatever information you are giving.
I wanted to say that you are saying, yeah.
Not,
I wanted to say that you are
maybe
actually quoting something that is on this document, that it says you must give correct knowledge. That's facts. I wanted to say that.
yes. So again, but you'll still find people who will go back and say, yeah, but Unezi said 1, 2, 3. Unezi's on TikTok and she's a nurse in South Africa and she said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You understand? So as long as when at the end of the day you can protect yourself and say, I said a disclaimer, 1, 2, 3. Disclaimer 1, 2, 3. Don't show your children. That's why even TV tells you good broadcasting rules. Don't let your children watch 1, 2, 3, and then when you let them watch and now they're questioning you and now you want to sue people. So that's all I can say about it. Now I'm not an influencer. I'm not a TikToker. I even hate taking pictures of myself. So that's just that on that.
Thank you, Posh. Ulikhona uthi, if it's okay to stand in front of the community and educate them about HIV and AIDS Day, it's okay. The thing is, when you are standing, Likhona, when you are standing, according to what I'm understanding from this document, when you are standing in front of at World AIDS Day, whatever, and you left because you are on duty, apparently you are not there on your personal capacity. You are not speaking as Likhona registered nurse, but you are speaking as Likhona registered nurse working at Analhwale Clinic. You are now speaking, I think they said it's an official statement. You are now doing an official statement. You are speaking on behalf of the government. But when you are in your room like this here and shooting your videos, you are now speaking as Likhona, the registered nurse, not affiliated with any organization. And I guess you need to make sure also in whatever content you are delivering, you are not mentioning organizations. It's a tough one, guys. You are not mentioning organizations. You are not mentioning your employer or whatsoever. So that's the difference. Hunandi?
Easy. Dumelang. I think before I go into my comment about Zabala, so I just also wanted to add on to what Pochia had said. There's simple health education that you can give that is safe and is general. Simple things such as how to properly wash your hands and how to properly prepare your food to avoid getting sick and everything like that. I think those are like just general health education that you can give, but we need to be careful when it comes to things such as now speaking about diseases and speaking about medication and everything like that. I'll just make an example with the one we've been talking about, yama contraceptives. We have Depo, we have Naristerate and all these things. You know, you can put that out there and somebody listens and they trust you because you are a nurse, only to experience very severe side effects because they are probably allergic or because of their own personal medical histories and everything. And that is, I feel like that is the side of health education that comes back now to bite us as nurses, because not everything is suitable for everybody. But when it comes to like the general way you advise people on how to wash their hands, how to take care of themselves, personal hygiene and everything without involvement of things such as your products and everything like that. Because then people are different and people will not really react the same way to everything. I think in those cases, people they need to come to our clinics and they need to go to our hospitals so that they can find what is suitable from them. I think that is the thin line when it comes to giving health education online, because then people will trust you because you're a nurse and they know you've been working for the longest time as a nurse, and now you have put out this information out there and somebody is potentially being in danger because of what you had said. So yeah, personally I'm learning a lot regarding these policies and everything, because as somebody who is an activist, I really find it important to engage with the general public. And my major concern has been how people don't really know what nurses do, which at the end of the day, it puts us in spaces where we are being abused, we are being disrespected, and yeah, it's not nice and it's not cute. So whenever I would come to social media and I see someone ofuna ukuthuka ines because uhlale ngaphandle, And I'm thinking to myself, Maranes o kena kae ko ditulong tsa ko ntle, because manes a sona a controlling line or anything like that. We have queue marshals in the clinics and everything. And now I want to jump in, but again, it leaves a digital footprint where people are now thinking this nurse doesn't care. She has attitude. She's out here swearing at us and everything like that. I think when I spoke about Umzabalazo, that is what I was talking about, because at the end of the day, these facilities don't even come back to protect us as nurses against such things. And I feel like as nurses, we also have to be advocates for ourselves, and we have to be activists in protecting ourselves in our own profession, because at the end of the day, nobody is gonna recognize the fact that I can feel hore ditulo di dutse jwang, mang a tla pele, mang a latela, jwalo jwalo. I'm in my consulting room and I'm seeing patients as they come in, which is why now I'm saying, but when it comes to Umzabalazo, which is basically the activism part of it, where do we draw the line? How do I now come in to correct people, to let them know, and let them understand exactly what my role is as a nurse within the clinical space, so that I don't have people coming in thinking I can do everything. I don't have people coming in and swearing at me because they are in pain and I'm in hospital. And in hospital, I can't just give you pain medication if it's not prescribed. I can only just offer you a warm peg or a cold peg to assist with your swelling or anything like that. So how do we navigate those spaces to let the general public know that, you know what, this is where my scope ends?
Right? Because I think I do believe that social media had a role to play in that, isn't it?
Yes, because it also provides us a space where we can clearly explain to the general public so they know and understand. Because not so long ago, I was having a conversation in the comment section regarding somebody who is not a high risk patient and they are pregnant, but they decided to go to a level 3 clinical facility. And when they got there, they were just sitting the whole day, and the nurses were seeing the emergency patients first. And this person went online to talk about how they were being ignored and nurses don't care and everything. So now I'm seeing there's a gap in terms of knowledge regarding the clinical services that we offer. And I'm thinking to myself, but you could have went to the clinic close to your house. Yes, it doesn't look fancy and it doesn't look like the one that you like, but had you went there because it's a level 1, you would have been assisted much faster than going to a hospital where nurses will run towards somebody who's about to give birth now and they are a high risk patient compared to you, or having somebody go to a level 1 clinical facility and they are already dilated and they are about to give birth, but there's no maternity in that clinic. But again, when people come on social media, they come in angry, they come in very frustrated and everything. And when you want to come in as a nurse to educate and to say, look, in our department, we are working like this. If you had went to the hospital, if you had went to this type of facility, you would have been assisted much faster. So what do we, because also that is the gap that is there within the department in itself. There's nobody going into facilities and teaching people these things. There's nobody going into communities and teaching. I also learned this when I was in nursing school, that, you know, there's a level 1 hospital, there's a level 2 hospital, and these are the services that they offer. So what do we do in such situations?
I think from my end, what I am taking away from this conversation is that as much as we don't have a clear standing of what the South African Nursing Council says currently in 2025, with these existing documents, such as the conduct of ethics, the guideline that I just read right now, I think one needs to consolidate all of them and make sure that they create a framework for themselves to deliver content online. When I started this TikTok live, for those who are here, you remember I shared my own journey, how I started NSZ in 2017, right? And from this guideline, it shows that in that particular scenario, I was at fault. I was shooting within the Department of Health premises without permission. I was using their stock without permission. Sure, it wasn't their time because I was shooting before I could start working or just right after I am done working. But also, when it comes to proving that, how was I going to prove? But no, this is the time I shot. I mean, I was using a camera. I have an M50 Canon camera. So how was I going to prove to say I shot at this time? You know, see how if someone wanted to really have my head chopped off, they could have. And luckily I had a manager who backed me up until National Department of Health level. So let's just make sure, as you are, personally, I don't think we need, as nurses, we need to stop letting the public know about our profession or about the healthcare system. I don't think we need to stop doing that. For instance, the current patients that we have, those are the young people. These are tech savvy people. They are literally on TikTok, they are on Facebook, they are on Instagram. You never find them in facilities. And the best way for us to reach out to them is to go where they are. And where are they? They are online. So it means even us as nurses, we need to come online. But now you can't come online and start showing patients' faces. Even if you go and ask for a patient consent, even that on its own, to me, does not make sense, particularly when you are not a healthcare establishment. You are not an official department. How are you asking for consent? Consent is a legal document, you guys. Come on, we are nurses. We are taught about consent in first year. Patients sign consent. Someone on the comment section said, what if a patient denies? They can deny. Guys, they deny that you gave them a return date to come back today. They deny you and say you didn't give it. They can deny you even when you are asking for consent, because people usually say, oh, I asked permission, but I seeked for permission or something like that. There's a difference between permission and consent. An informed consent actually means that you took the patient through the procedure, what needs to be done, and the patient signed that they are accepting, so that whatever consequences come, good or bad, out of that agreement of yours and the patient is well aware of what they were doing. If you are now going to say, oh, I took permission to shoot with this patient, and then the patient's partner comes out and say, I saw you at the clinic on Sister Zanele's page, and the patient says, no, I did not. Guys, we will be in trouble. My take, Hunadi, is that I don't think we need to back off from the internet, but we need to be aware of the guidelines and the little policies that are existing, even though some of them are very old and we might feel like they are outdated. But let's have them and create a framework for yourself that you are going to be working within, that is going to guide you, so that when they come for you and say, why are you shooting videos doing health education on sexual and reproductive health, you tell them that I'm doing it in my capacity as a registered nurse in my bedroom. I'm doing it in my personal capacity as a nurse. I'm not doing it on the official communication of the department. Right? I think so, because it does. Social media does play a big role in advocacy, even for our profession. Someone say you can obtain consent on camera. Guys, why do you feel the need of asking patients that, can I show you on my social media? Like, what are you trying to achieve? What do you want to achieve with that? What do you really want to achieve? What message are you trying to drive home? That's the part I don't understand. And I haven't seen these videos, and a lot of people here were commenting saying they have. I haven't seen videos where patients are being shown. But I'm truly wondering, as a nurse, what business do you have to bring a patient's face here? Even a patient's voice, you guys. Do we understand that even the voice itself, it's not right to bring a patient's voice on social media? Not showing their face, but their voice on social media. That is wrong.
And you can't obtain consent on video. our scope of practice as nurses, that it doesn't allow us to get consent. If consent is all out of Taylor, what we do is that we witness to the consent being given, and what we do
Explain
is
to the
we
patient.
serve, yes, we serve as advocates for the patient. If you need to translate, if you need to make the patient understand even more, that is your role as an advocate and as a witness to the consent that is being given. Consent was never for nurses to obtain. All you do is to get permission. Can I do this with you? Can I do 1, 2, 3? Can I give you your medication? You are asking for a permission, because if there's a prescription already, it means the patient has already given consent for that medication. When now all you do is to come in and ask for a permission. I think when I was asking my question, I was going back to when we started the conversation, and we spoke about a policy being there that says we are not allowed to advertise the services that we give. That's it caught me when I was now thinking, but now how are people going to know? How is the general public going to know what exactly nurses are doing in our facilities? Because now we have different ranks of nurses also. There'll be somebody who is screaming and harassing an ENA because they want to get medication for flu in the clinic, but an ENA can never assist you with that. Their scope doesn't allow them to get to that point. But people do not know these things. When they come in, they see us all in uniform and they are assuming we are all one person. Like how they would come in and they see somebody walking around in scrubs and they assume that that person is a doctor. And when you watch the recent videos about the Hillbrow Clinic, you realize that the people were upset because they thought the doctors were around, because there were people who were walking around wearing scrubs. And when the nurses had said, but the doctors have already left, I cannot assist you with that because they say they see somebody in scrubs and he's saying the nurses are lying and everything. Again, it goes back to people not knowing exactly what we do in these spaces and everything. But I hear you. We will push to make sure that our public is educated enough, and hopefully that will protect us also as nurses to some degree in terms of the backlash we've been getting and the abuse we've been getting, because we are the first people to be blamed when things are not going wrong in these clinics, and it's all because people really do not know what is happening.
Thank you, Hunadi. Let me go to, I don't know who came first between Mule and Kwanel. I think it's Mule. Hi, Mule.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I'm fine. How are
And
you?
good afternoon. Yo, good evening. Look at me saying good afternoon. Good evening to everyone. Yeah, thank you so much for having this conversation and having this live. Personally, I've learned so much from what we've discussed. However, I did join a bit late. It was just after you had read or went through the guideline that you were referring to now. And indeed, there are some things that we are hearing about for the first time. And it's great that we're having this. We should have this more often, Nancy.
We are
I know
every Monday at 8 p.m., my love.
every Monday. Oh, okay. Oh, churka chase. Makadi Monday, we are tired. Mondays are crazy, bruh. We don't have time to come on social media. But anyway, so I wanted to touch on, okay, but you did answer it a bit when we were talking about what about videos that the department would be taking us while we are interacting with the patients during World AIDS Day, during their campaigns and all of that. So when you're saying there, I mean, I'm not in my personal capacity, but I'm there as an employee. It answers that question. And then we come to the issue, health education. In the clinics and the hospitals, we are all understaffed and overworked. There isn't enough time to go through everything with every patient. And it's not every nurse that will give the health education that the patients need. So where do we draw the line to say, then what is our take as nurses to educate more people about what is it that we do, the services that we give or that we offer, the services that are available, even if I don't own a clinic or anything like that. And isn't it going to assist us in saying they would have had this information from us firsthand? Because if you can join the groups and platforms where they are advising one another, go on to any other group on Facebook, yeah, HIV or yeah, diabetes, and listen to what they advise one another on. You will get the shock of your life.
I know.
And people listen to that.
Yeah.
And we are sitting here as nurses and we are not doing anything about it. Nurses are portrayed on social media and every other platform, in movies, in series, and in everything, as the thugs that smuggle newborns. If somebody wants to come and steal a newborn and pretend they were pregnant, they go to a nurse. And then in that show, a nurse will be wearing 1 centimeter skirt, chewing gum, selling children. And this is how the community, the very community, Aruna, that doesn't like us very much, think we all are. So shouldn't we maybe be thinking of ways in which we can delete that whole narrative of people thinking Manese are all these angry Godzillas who will be shouting and screaming? And when we come and give health education, this is what I usually do on my WhatsApps, TikTok, and other platforms where I try and give health education. And half the time, well, 99% of the time, I try and do it without uniform or that says, where do I work?
Yeah.
Because then I don't want to be affiliated with anyone because I know they'll be using it against me. And I try and do it after hours. And when you give that health education, this is where, as a nurse, you will come and say to a patient, look, these are the options that you have. This is what we have. And these are the services that you can ask for. However, go to your nearest facility and continue this conversation with the other healthcare professional. Because if they are going to be using it against you on social media, they can still do it in the consultation room. And say, I went and I did that because Nurse Z said I should do it. So whenever you are speaking to a human being, be it's at the workplace or on social media or what, and you just need to make sure that abahlali says, oh, look, these are the options that you have, but please continue the conversation with somebody else who you will be consulting with. And probably, I don't know if the guideline that you were reading did touch on what is it that we need to do then to continue with the health education. Because personally, I feel that our people need this. And they will listen to you when you're on social media.
Yeah.
I get patients
More than in the consulting
more
room.
than in the consultation room. I get patients that have been telling them the same thing over and over again. But because of Pony TikTok, they come back to me and say, hi, sister, why? Because we on TV or we on phone or we on. You understand what I'm saying? That's the power of social media. So when
Remember, they are at the comfort of their home. My master study is actually on teleconsultation to say it bridges the gap for young people. Young people want to be comfortable, you know. And honestly speaking, guys, let's be honest. Our hospitals and our clinics are not comfortable.
not
So
comfortable.
when they are watching Sister Mole at home, they are able to listen to you. Even you sound different because when you're in the consulting room,
Absolutely. So maybe the question that I'm going to leave behind is, while we are still trying to be careful, how careful is careful? And how long are we going to be careful with doing? Our job is to educate. Our job is to give people the information that they need. Because if we don't, no one will. You find a patient that's been on ARVs for 15 years. They still do not know the difference between viral load and CD4 count.
True.
They've been on treatment for so long. They don't know why are they taking bloods and what bloods are those for. So isn't this the time that we go and we educate? You find a patient that's on diabetic medication. So maybe the question, like I'm saying, how careful can we be careful? And how far can we go with ensuring that we continue with the service that we are supposed to provide? at the comfort of our homes or wherever, and at the comfort of our patients' homes, because once you give it out to them like that, the next day, higher appointment day, we are with more information, more knowledge. You tell them, when how feature, ask the sister, or what is this, what is that? And once a clinician finds a patient like that, there are two things involved. It's either over aggressive because they don't know the answers, or then they come down and they see, okay, now I'm talking to someone that knows what they're doing. Because sometimes people, nurses, not nurses, even doctors, they take advantage of a patient that doesn't know, patient that doesn't ask, and they let them be. I think that's it from me today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mole. That was a mouthful. There's another document amongst the documents that then I'm going to go to Kwanele. There's a document that Benjamin sent. I think it's chapter 20? Yes, it's chapter 20. So this is social media guideline as well. It is not a NES's social media guideline. It is a social media guideline for government employees, not for nurses. Remember, even the first one, it wasn't for nurses. So this one, the key points that I took from this one, I think it repeats a bit of what the other one said. It says personal versus official use, right? Nurses as government employees, I'm adding nurses, but it says government employees have the same right for freedom of speech online, for free speech online as other citizens. However, their government affiliation, when their government affiliation is known or presumed, they carry additional obligation to protect the reputation of government, which includes Department of Health and the nursing profession. Professional conduct. When using social media, nurses are expected to be credible, respectful, cordial, honest, professional at all times. They must base their communications on accurate information. Cite, I'm sure Kwanele is here to tell us that. Cite credible sources, citations, guys, referencing, and respond constructively to criticism. You see, this one, even me, I struggle with it. Sometimes people piss me off in these streets and I just forget that I'm necessary. But you are also expected to respond constructively to criticism, boundaries and approval. If a government employee is using social media in an official capacity, e.g. speaking on behalf of a clinic, hospital, or the Department of Health, they must only do so with explicit approval or authority. So now if you're getting an invitation, I think it goes back to us if we're getting I'm getting an invitation. Guys, this is hectic. If I get an invitation from Radio 702, do I have to ask for a permission from my employer when 702 saw me here on social media as Neszi? Do I have to go and ask for permission from my employer, or 702 needs to say, we are inviting you on your capacity as Neszi, not as Sister Zanele Tekiso?
Can I come in there, Z?
Come in, my friend.
I've had that experience before. You have to, because you are employed by an organization, you are not only Nazi as the professional, but when you do go on this radio, for example, the community will not be able to really differentiate that this is Nazi and not Nazi from Department of Health. So it's always recommended and advised, even in your organization's policy, and how it was mentioned in the policy you read now, you are affiliated.
Okay.
So it's always recommended that you do ask for permission from your organization. You should actually write a submission to say, these are the topics we are going to talk about. And I'm not going to say anything negative in terms of the organization I work with and so forth. So you have to get that permission.
Hey, siyafunda, guys. Siyafunda. So it does say, they must only do so with explicit approval or authority. The same standards apply as when speaking to the media or at a conference. Then risk and responsibilities. Social media blurs the lines between personal and professional voices. Because of this, government employees must be cautious not to damage their professional or institutional reputation when posting online. Sure. Now, professional means nursing, right? Don't damage the image of nursing. Going back to the video that Ulunga spoke about, or it is a TikTok challenge where at 4 o'clock you are at tavern and at 7 o'clock you are at facility. Do you see now that comes in here? You are damaging the image of nursing, isn't it? Of the profession. So it says nurses must be cautious, nurses must be cautious not to damage their professional or institutional reputation when posting online. Mistakes or misinformations should be corrected promptly. So that's what I summarized out of this document. In case you just want to visit these documents, this one is called Chapter 20, and the other one is called. Let me quickly check it. The other one is called Social Media Policy Guidelines 2011. You can take your time and look at them. Kwanele, come in, my darling, and welcome back. Happy New Year. I haven't spoken to you this year. Well, on here.
Thank you so much for welcoming me. I'm so mad that I didn't even know that the sessions are back, but thank you so much. Good evening, colleagues. This is a very interesting topic. It's a good way to come back. It's a very good topic to be back. And there's so much. I've been writing notes literally because this is one of the biggest topics that I start with every time when I start with my students. I always start with the safe use of AI and the safe use of social media, because AI and social media are things that are not going to go away anytime soon, and they're becoming stronger as we grow. So either we use it safely or we terminate it completely. So I want to start also with the whole idea of external validation and content creation. People most of the time post content at a perspective of they want to have an external validation from the outside world. Then there's content creators, and there is a difference. I've seen nurses that come and they give good health education that I'm also like, wow, this is amazing. And you want to go and read on it. Then you find people that are just excited. They get into the frenzy of trending and social media frenzy of, I'm going to post. And I feel like as nurses, we need to be grounded by principles and values that are your personal principles and values. It's not even about the profession itself. I'll get to the profession. But I believe if you're a content creator, you need to have a mindset of, you need to assess, what do I want to create? Is there a need? What do I want to do? You need to go through the nursing process basically and look at how you're going to plan your content creation. What are the objectives that you want to achieve? And how do you plan to implement it? And then you evaluate yourself so that you have a record of how did I do and how am I growing as a content creator. So you need to have a theme. You need to be a consistent type of person. The content creation that comes with just the spur of the moment and deciding that now I just want to create content is where the problems start. Because when you are pushed by frenzy, you start doing things wrong. But if you push by planning and understanding that this is how I want to present my content, because when you plan, you already are worried about your specific type of image that you want to uphold when you put your content out there. You're not just going to put anything out there. You're going to review it, edit the video, remove things that should not even be there. Do you understand? And I feel that requires a lot of self-awareness. And nurses should be the most self-aware humans on the planet. And it's unfortunate. And I preach this a lot with my students, and I tell them that the career that you chose It's a calling. Yes, you applied for it, but it's a calling in the sense that you are the healer. You are meant to heal people. You are meant to be a person that will be a role model to society that upholds a specific image. It's a noble profession. It's like being a pastor. A pastor cannot come and argue with society and tells us that he likes women, so that's why he is being promiscuous. He needs to hide that promiscuity from society. Same applies with nurses. We can't create a certain image of, oh, I love drinking alcohol, I love being at club, I love being or smoking weed. Your social image should not be like that. We all live probably a dark life somewhere in the corner that nobody knows about. But this is a calling. You are healing people not only with the nursing care, but with how you even exude a certain energy around patients. We use what we call the therapeutic use of self. You need to walk the talk. You can't talk healthy with patients when you don't even know 5 vegetables. So the way we carry ourselves needs to be equal to what we're going to say to patients. And when you start engaging in health education and social media, you need to make sure that your whole social media content that you've been posting that can be conflicting with the things that you're going to teach patients, you should remove it. Because there's a footprint. Akiri, we're saying social media is a footprint. Remove those footprints. Remove them. Start afresh. Do not allow people to go back and trace you back and say, you posted this on Twitter in 2006. Dude, I was in grade 11, but we will still hold you accountable for those things. So as nurses, I think we need to really think before we go into social media spaces. You know, I always tell people that what I have on my social media pages is what I want people to know. And I'm very much aware of what I put because I'm aware that there's people that are watching. I have students that I'm teaching. I have an image to uphold. You can see at any given time, my students were laughing at me last week when I was telling them that I cannot come here and teach you. The next minute, there's 5 men standing at the gate saying, oh, our lecturer is a whore. She's been playing us. No. Keep your cards clean. Keep your circles clean. Behave like you are a noble person. I'm not saying pretend, but our profession requires us to pretend at some point. It requires us to have a facade of some sort because you are not going to be believable if you behave like a hooligan. You need to upgrade yourself at a certain level so that people believe even the information that you're going to tell them. And I know in social media, we all believe anything to everything. We once lived in the era of Dr. Matthew. And trust me, I didn't even pick it up. So, but another thing is, as much as patients come to the hospital with preconceived ideas about nurses, same applies on social media. They already know things about us. So, and I like the document that you just read that says that be able to handle criticism positively because they're going to come for you. They're going to come for you on how we buy taxes for men. They will do that. But you need to be able to pull yourself together, be ethical about it, and engage. Engage as you will engage the same way when your supervisor tells you how stupid your work looks. Because at the end of the day, you need to graduate. You're going to take it in. There is no other two ways about it. And yes, true. The citations, we need to research, guys. We can't be talking information out of our own heads. I'm a lecturer, but I still read. Before my classes, I prepare my week classes and I go back to the textbook. I read. I know the information, but I still go back and read. As nurses, we need to continuously read. Whether we are in clinical, you need to give patients information that is reliable, relevant, always up to date. We can't just be pushing information and some information, trust me, it's not a one size fits all. Health education, as another speaker did mention, that it's not a one size fits all. A certain medication, like for me, let me just give you a typical example of how these things work. As a nurse, I knew that, okay, Petogen can make you gain weight. You know, you can gain weight. But I used Petogen. I was losing weight dramatically. And now I'm thinking, oh wow, what is it about Petogen that makes other people gain weight? And I found out one day that it creates a vitamin 12 deficiency that leads you to having a high appetite. If you can control that appetite within the first 3 weeks, you might never gain weight because you controlled it, you did not encourage the eating habits, then you come back to who? To the normal you. So there's certain things that will never work because your body cannot receive it, or your body will receive it in a different specific way. So research is very, very important when you go into social media and say, now I'm going to the community. And that's why I'm like, I love social media because it's the quickest way to get to the patient. Because whilst this patient is sitting and being entertained, your reel might come up, and it might have useful, valuable information for that patient. Hence, it's very important for you to know the information to the T. Even when you attend to their questions, you are able to give them information and be truthful to yourself. If you don't know, you need to say, I don't know. I will refer you to someone that knows. We are a community of educated people, and I believe you know someone that knows that concept better. We can't be jack of all trades. I know R425 finished us up to think that we can do everything. We can't. We need to understand, Hori, we can only always refer. If you know someone that knows something, refer them, take them to the next person. Another one that I wanted to touch on is telling patient stories on social media. I've seen this a lot. And nurses love saying, today in my clinic, I had this patient that came in and I was asking her, why are you not using condoms? Trust me, it sounds like a funny story, but it's very dangerous in the sense that the patient knows you.
Yeah.
That is enough for me to say, do not tell us the patient's story. The patient can identify themselves. I know a lot of nurses will come and argue and say, but she didn't mention.
Maybe you hadn't joined. It was written on that first policy that I read.
Yeah.
And I did ask, what do they mean by that? That we shouldn't share cases that would make patients to be identifiable. The patient knows you and knows that you are talking about them, right?
Exactly. I don't encourage such stories because now you've broken the nurse trust relationship. You know, it takes a lot for a patient to trust you. They say a doctor and a nurse are the only two people that can tell you to get naked and you will get naked without asking a question.
Yeah.
That's trust, guys. That is trust. We cannot use delicate, patient, heart-to-heart stories as an entertainment content creation. Yes, you can make people aware, but do it differently. Like as an educator, when I'm educating my students, I educate them about my experiences in the fact of I'm educating. But I try by all means to never link it to a hospital that I've been working with or whatever. But I want them to learn through my stories. And I love teaching through storytelling. It's an amazing way of teaching because you give them a picture of where you're taking them. Because remember, students, they're still anxious, they're still too clinical, they don't have the confidence. So you want to prepare them. You want to scare them and frustrate them, but you want to at least give them that strength to say, these things happen, even if you're not going to encounter them, but they do happen. But on social media, we need to limit ourselves to just saying anything because it's entertaining or because last week got 100,000 likes. There is going to be a day that those are going to be your last likes ever because you would lose your job. And you know what's so unfortunate about us nurses? Most of us, nursing was our first job. Trust me, we don't have experience in any other thing.
Else.
What we know is nursing.
I was thinking about it the other day, my friend, to say, I've never worked anywhere else before.
Me too. All I know is nursing. And I'm like, I'm gone. If Senk decides to take my certificate, I'm not even broke.
You can't even go to KFC.
So, and the last comment is, with health education, it's very important to also know that patients have different experiences, and also teaching laymen is not the same,
Yeah.
because layman creates an imagination. We should not play with those people's imaginations. So you need to be very, very sure on the tactics or the learning strategies or the teaching strategies that you plan to present when you go on social media. Hence, I'm like, when you're going to come to social media and give health education, you need to have a process, a whole process of how you plan to disseminate it, because your viewers are using imagination. They don't know what certain things look like. Some patients, some people right now think that Panado is white, paracetamol is white, and it will always be white. Trust me, it will never change color until we give them another one that looks green and they say the green one works more. It's the same thing, you know? So imagination works more with people that are watching you from home without a background information or scientific knowledge of the concept that you're actually trying to get across. So, well, yeah, I'm glad that you're doing this again. Thank you so much.
It's so good to have you back. And I don't want you to just leave yet. Guys, literally, this is now the third one that Benjamin had attached on the things that he sent me. This is a Department of Health communication policy from one of the provinces. It repeats almost everything that was said on chapter 20 and the other guideline that was developed in 2011. So they literally repeat the same thing, you guys. They are very big on separation of roles. Personal use of social media should not interfere with professional duties or bring the department or government in disrepute. They are repeating themselves. Official information sharing. Nurses may only share government news if it has already been officially published. Awareness of position. Even when posting in a personal capacity, nurses must remember that the public can associate their statements with their professional or official roles.
Nestle, I wanted to say something. Sorry. I learned something during the start of my current studies. My supervisor said to me, "You are a brand."
Which degree is it?
You're in Trapan. My PhD. So she said to me, "We are creating a brand. You are the brand. You are the person that's going to represent this research for the rest of your life. So be a brand." I think that's one thing that I want to leave everyone with, that we are brands on our own, with our names and surnames attached to it, and with the people that were here before us and the people that are still going to come after us. We need to create a brand that is so strong that when they say, "Are you a nurse?" and you're like, "Yes," they're like, "You lie." "Are you a nurse for real?" and you're like, "Yes, I am a nurse." They're like, wow. Represent nursing to the I'm telling you, I don't mean to brag. Spaces that I go into conferences, I go into places where there's no nurses, and I say I'm a nurse, they're like, "You're lying." No ways. Guys, I'm representing you like at this highest form and level.
Yeah.
Like, it's classy. It's
And we
beautiful.
should all have that responsibility, my friend, right?
Yes. Every time when I carry the brand of nursing, I make sure that even when I dress up, it shows that I come from a profession of noble, classy, educated people. Grounded.
Big on education.
Branding is the thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't go. You see, people are saying I must bring you back, so you need to tell me what do you want to come and talk to us about.
What?
I'm giving you 7 days. Some of the things that are highlighted on this one, guys, it's use of logos and branding. It says government employees may not use government logos or branding on personal social media without explicit permission. Now, we know I am reading this one because we wear the jackets that are having H emblems, right? And come and make videos on here. Yeah, but majority of the things are also repeating themselves. I don't know. I think we all getting the gist of it. Am I correct to say we at this point, 2 hours, 30 minutes later, since we started this conversation, I think we have an understanding of where we supposed to be or where we stand as nurses in South Africa pertaining to the use of social media. I think from this conversation, there's something tangible that we took out of it that we can stand on, we can use as a leg to stand on. Lastly, I want to say this, guys. Guys, we need to come up with a way that we are going to use as an action plan, right? I know I've got people here. Some of the people that are here on our TikTok lives, they don't get on the platforms because of who they are in the environments that they work in. I want us to start using these conversation as a voice for our profession. For instance, I'm currently going to reach out to the South African Nursing Council. I'm going to write them an email and ask what is their standing on the topic that we've heard today. They might respond me, they might not respond me. I know there are even people who sit on the SANC board who sometimes come and sit here and listen to me talk. They don't comment, they don't get on the on the platform. And I'm saying this so that if they are here even today, I want them to know some of these conversations we are having them not because, I don't know, we lack things to do, but because we need clarity. Like on this particular conversation, I think some of us, we came in here not knowing certain things that other people knew, but we are living with a bit of knowledge and a bit of light. But we need organizations that are for the nurses, about nursing, and so forth, to meet us halfway. And the only way they can meet us halfway at this point from where I'm sitting is if we go to them and say, hey, can you say something? Because if we just sit and do nothing, they also not gonna come to us, one thing for sure. Because if they had the ability to come to us, I'm sure they do, but they're not thinking about it. They would have issued this communique without even us thinking about it, because I'm coming here to bring this forth because it's growing. Nursing and social media thing is it's a growing thing, and these organizations can see it. But I feel like on their end, they are waiting for a litigation, and then that's when we are going to learn. And we don't need it to get there. That's when they're going to issue out a communique to say, as the South African Nursing Council or as National Department of Health, this is where we stand. As employees, this is what we don't need it to get there, where one of us is now facing a litigation. We don't need it to get there for them to issue a communique. I'm going to reach out to the South African Nursing Council. If you have an idea of how going forward, are we going to take some of our conversation and actually put them in these tables where policymakers, guideline makers, decision makers are sitting at? If you want to be part of that, please do reach out to me privately. Let's not be fearful. We are educated beings, as Kwanele has said. Let's be assertive, and being assertive also means writing emails to the South African Nursing Council. Don't worry, they won't look you up on the system and say, how do we victimize this one? As long as you know how to talk to people, how to be assertive. Being assertive means being able to deliver what you want to say and also be respectful, right? So the South African Nursing Council, I'm certain they are willing to listen to us as nurses. They can't know everything, and they don't necessarily have eyes and ears in the entire whole country when it comes to nursing practices. So reach out to me, please, if you want to be part of that. I do have other people that I've collaborated with in terms of trying to bring the change. But I just want these conversations to not be impactful only to us, but also policy changes needs to meet us halfway. It's 10:30 now, and I think we need to go to bed. So I'm going to leave. I know. Akwanele, do you remember Akwanele and Lunga? Oh, guys, these are people that I used to go live with. That's why I'm saying to them, Happy New Year. I used to go live with these people in 2023 when I was still in Central. And we would stay
Yeah.
up until midnight from, I don't know what time, I think we used to start
Yeah.
at 8 p.m. until
Mm.
midnight. So that's how far we come. But I want to
And now
give
we don't sleep, hey?
we
We're
didn't
leaving, we're going to work. I'm saying now we're leaving the live and she's going to start work
exactly.
2 o'clock in the morning.
No, now we end at 10:30. But I want each and every single person that is here on the panel. If you've got closing remarks, what would you want to say to the 49 people that are still remaining on this room? What are your last words pertaining to this topic and also to nursing at large? I think let me start with Ulunga.
Oh, hey, Messi, Ukwanele said a mouthful, yes. And I'm thinking to myself, in fact, it made me think of a conversation that I had with Dr. Tebelele and how he got into the space where he seems to specialize in now of talking about erectile dysfunctions of men and how they should deal with them. And he said something to me. He said that he's not a specialist in that field. He's not a urologist or anything of that sort. But he saw a gap, invested time in it, in terms of gathering information and researching, because he's already a medical doctor. And he went into that conversation, started the conversation that people were not willing to talk about, so that people can learn, can be comfortable, and you will find that his facility is always full of men that are coming for their problems and other problems, of course. So I think mine is to say, we are not of an era that should be led by dinosaur mentality.
Yeah.
The times have changed. The times are moving. This is the platform that we use. This is the platform that young people use. HIV affects mostly young people, and the best platform to get to them is this one. Number two, let us not forget the digital footprint that we are leaving. Each comment that you write, in case in point, have you seen how Gayton Mackenzie was dragged because of things that he wrote when he did not even have an idea that he would be a minister at some point?
True.
Digital footprint is very important. And also, let us put disclaimers, colleagues. At the end of the day, we are qualified to give these inputs into society. We are scientists in our own right, because we were trained for this thing. But let us give information that is valid, scientific, and if there is any mistakes, as you did mention, let us quickly correct them.
Yeah.
Thank you for the nice conversation.
Thank you, my friend. Unganqabi mfondini.
Ndisezilalini soze kodwa.
Thank you so much for joining today. Mpume.
Again, guys, I think my colleagues have said mouthful, but I'll just say, guys, let's as much as like our workload is hard and everything, let's try and do health education as much as we can at our workplace. Singajaheli social media because it's easily accessible. Sizama ukuthi sichange the lives of our clients that we see every day, because sometimes we do have time to do these health educations in the mornings and maybe in the afternoons, so that the information can get to my clients. So in my experience, I have seen it's effective. I'm not saying social media is not effective, but I've seen it is effective, and then we can come also in social media. I love social media very much, so and we can also continue our conversations there. We must always be factual, singing my feelings, facts. Nurses sometimes they are lazy to study. I'm sorry to say this, but sometimes we are lazy. Someone will be a nurse but not knowing what the side effects of pathogens are. It's whatever is on the streets. So I'm encouraging nurses to just go to just research. Let's do our best, and yeah, love you guys.
Thank you so much, baby. Love you more. My friend, thank you so much for these documents, Benjamin. Man, I appreciate you.
Anyway, so my closing remarks. It's a pleasure. I'll always share what I can. So, for me, my comment is about separating profession from personal life. So, as nurses, we must be very cautious about what we post online, because that blurring of the lines can occur very easily. And as Kwanele mentioned, we need to maintain their trust and confidentiality and professionalism before sharing any type of content, because before you post, if you get that feeling of it doesn't sit right with you, then you probably should reconsider posting it or not. But at the same time, I also say we shouldn't let our profession slide back into a shell. This visibility of our profession is very important, because the society, other professionals are starting to see how valuable nursing is, and it's been great for us, because a lot of people are now really they'll stop you. Oh, I saw you're a nurse. Wow, it's amazing that what's going on in the profession. We didn't know what was going on, and especially social media, nursing, and COVID, that really brought our profession to the top. Yeah, thank you so much, Z.
Thank you so much, my friend. I'll see you next week, Monday. Mule, over to you, my dear.
Hi, Nessie. Yeah, thank you again, and Kaniti, thank you to everyone that contributed. This was, you know what, no time was wasted here. Raleboa. Then my last comments is just, we need to be the generation that will change how nursing has been viewed for over these years. Kaufela. We need to be the generation that will educate our people and ensure that our people are just as informed as other races are. They are just as knowledgeable as other races are, because you get to a community that is white or Indian dominated. I'm not being racist or anything, but those people, they know their rights. That's where you will not find nurses doing funny things and doctors doing funny things, because those people know their rights and they know why they are there. They know what services they are supposed or entitled to when they come to a facility. So we need to do the same for our people. Where you find patients complaining about the most ridiculous things, and that's simply because they don't know where to report. They don't know what medication they're supposed to be on. They don't know what their rights are. This is where we come in. We need to be that generation that will represent nursing everywhere we go. What Kwanele has said is very important, that once you start showing yourself as a nurse on social media, mizamo ya hao e tlameha ho change.
Yeah.
Ntwani ya ho jaifa ka savana hlohong, o pala moduma tafole. You have to rethink that. And we need to be those nurses where patients come and think you're a doctor. And they're like, they call you, "Ke batla Dr. Mama." A patient comes in, "Nna ke batla Dr. Robert." "Dr. who?" "Dr. Roberts." Haeba ba sa o bitse ka name, they'll be asking themselves, who is that doctor? We don't have that. Ha o hlaba ke o? Bona doctor haka ke. Then you must still come back and say, "Hey, mama, ha ke doctor, ke nna sister, ke nurse." And hangata they deny, like, what? There's no way. U nurse, u sister, jwalo ka bona ba. You know, we need to be those nurses. So we just need to be a different kind of nursing generation from what we've experienced along over the years. Ke a leboha.
Thank you so much, Mule. Kwanele, my baby, over to you.
Thank you, Nessie. And thank you for inviting me again. And I think most of the speakers have really closed very well. And because I just came in at the end of the show, next week, Monday, I'll try to be here at the beginning so that I get to enjoy the whole train ride. But what I came out with from those conversations is the education that we learned in nursing, from psychology and psychiatry. I know we learned thinking that we're treating patients, and one of the biggest patients that we need to treat is ourselves. I believe that we need to use the psychiatry and the psychology that we learned on ourselves, the culture of self-awareness, and it all starts there. And once we get that right, I believe we'll behave properly when we get into the social media spaces, because you will question yourself a lot before you do certain things that will end up having negative implications. And another thing that I wanted to say that came up out of my mind right now was, in South Africa, we already have a platform on health education. I was doing a short learning program. It was a collaboration of the University of California and the Nigerian University on health literacy. And we found out that actually South Africa has the highest health literacy within their population because of our community-centered system. We are a community in Africa. We tend to discuss stories and information amongst each other, and so patients have more information compared to an American climate where they're individualized. Patients just get to have their own information. So what I'm trying to encourage is that when we do health education right, we have a good platform of patients that are willing to receive our information. So the aim is to do it right. The aim is, we say in nursing, competency is doing it right the first time and correctly and not repeating it. So we need to be competent in health education. That's it for me. Thank you so much. It was lovely. See you all next week.
Thank you so much, you guys. I love you all so very much. Someone said, Nezzy, I didn't know that you hold these insightful sessions. Guys, we are here every Monday at 8 p.m. I used to be a consistent girl. We used to do this 3 times in a week: Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I'm trying to build that momentum again. But currently we only here on Mondays at 8 p.m. Mule was complaining, why did I choose Monday? I didn't choose it. It was chosen by the people who were here. I think the day we reinstated the TikTok lives, because yeah, those days, Kwanele, those days were the days. In 29, was it when was it? I think it was in 2023 when we started the TikTok lives, but they were as insightful as this one was. We also had career conversations. Kwanele, have I hosted you for a career conversation, or you were just listening to other people? I think I need to.
No, you've never.
I need to. We need to do a career conversation. We'll talk about it offline. We need to do a career conversation. I saw Ditebuko like, who's Kwanele? Kwanele is doing this. Kwanele, who's Kwanele? Kwanele, I think I should bring back. You should be the first person I host for a career conversation, because we haven't had, ever since we came back, we haven't.
You've
had,
never.
Yeah, we haven't had one. So I think.
I think I have a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah, you will launch us on career conversation. We will discuss, you and I, on which day are we going to do your career conversation. But
No
basically,
problem.
career conversation is a nurse doing amazing things, coming in to tell us about her nursing journey. If you have data and time, you can go on my YouTube channel and watch some of the career conversations I've held in the past, and just to prep and to know what Nelly will be sharing with us on her own journey. But Betuna Maslaleni, it's 10 to 11 now, and I thought we were going to end at 30:30. Let us see each other on Monday. I'm so sorry I couldn't read comments today. It was a little bit hectic, so I know I didn't go through comments. But yeah, let's go out there and take care of ourselves, and most importantly, take care of our profession. Good night, Tini. Love you loads, Gesana. Someone says they need a meet and greet. We will talk about it. Let's be consistent on TikTok. Bye bye.